This week has been a slow sewing week because I have been dealing with a cold. But I managed to finish a t-shirt and test my new Coverstitch machine for the first time. Hi everyone, my name is Karen and this is my channel KGFL Creations. Welcome to another episode of #FridaySews. Let's start by talking about what I'm wearing today. This is one of my Haskell tops by Cashmerette. It is a Cashmerette club pattern. So if you are a club member, you have access to this pattern. This fabric was a fabric from the Think Pink subscription box from many months ago. I don't even remember when I got it. It is a cotton poplin. Now, let's talk about what happened here in the sewing room. I was able to finish a t-shirt, and this is the t-shirt here. It is not the best color for me, but I had this fabric. It is a basic color for layering or anything. So I decided to make this little t-shirt here. I was able to use my new Coverstitch machine. Yeah, I am so happy with my machine. It turned out really good. But I did have a little bit of trouble. I wouldn't say trouble. I need more practice. That's what I need. When I was doing the top stitching here on the V-neck right here, I do need a little bit more practice on this end here. But I want to show you first the little mock-up that I did first, and then I'm going to talk to you about what happened. This is the little mock-up that I have here. I made this little thing so I could practice making the top stitching on the V-neck. The Coverstitch machine has 3 needles. I can use all 3 needles. I can use 2 needles, 2 to the right, 2 to the left, or the wide on the left, on the right, on the left, and take off the middle needle. For the neckline, I decided to use 2 on the right and make the narrow stitching. Hope you can see this. Let me do it this way so you can see it. But I ran into a little bit of trouble because I made things a little bit more complicated for myself. I asked the ladies last Saturday at the sewing circle, our Zoom meeting every Saturday, how they do a V-neck line on a Coverstitch, and they told me, 2 ladies told me that they just they start on the middle back and they go around, they get here, and there's no way to do a sharp corner because you have 2 needles. There's no way for you to turn. It's not the same thing as you have 1 needle. When you go down, you can turn this way or that way. If you have 2 needles, there's no way to turn. So what they told me was that they usually come down here and they kind of go around just a little bit. It is not a sharp corner, a sharp V with the top stitching. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted my V top stitching to have a sharp corner just like the V-neck itself. So what I decided to do was I made a little line here with my chalk, my white chalk. I made a line right here in the middle, and I started sewing here, coming up, and then I went back and started also on that line. I made sure that I put the needle right, the 2 needles right on that line, and I went that way. But in doing that, I had problems. How can I explain this? On the sizing of the width from this edge here, because when I was sewing on the right side, I could make the edge right along the side of the presser foot. But when I went to the other side, I didn't want to change my needle to the other end. And I kind of put my eye on this a little line, but it was not the same. So one side is wider than the other. I am not sure if you can see this. This side here is wider from the edge to the top stitch than this side right here. This side here looks really nice. This side here is wider. So I looked at that. I'm like, okay, I need to do something better on the actual top. So I was like, okay, I'm going to study this before I go into my top. So I put this back on the machine and I looked which way I was going to do this to make sure that the top stitching would be the same width from the edge here on both sides. So that's the trouble I had on this one, because I made the decision to make my life a little bit complicated just by starting in the middle and going that way, and starting in the middle and going that way, instead of doing what the ladies had told me to do. Go down, kind of do a little curve, which is not, yeah, I don't know. I prefer this way because it's pointing. That's the only thing I'm going to say for myself. But other than that, it turned out really good. I do like this top stitching. It turned out great. The back, I still had the black thread here. As you can see, the black thread. And the front, I had the beige, which is a perfect beige for this fabric right here. So when I went to do this final one here, it turned out much better. Is it perfect? No, it is not. I think I'm about 1 millimeter or 2 off on each of these sides. So I need more practice in doing the V-neck right here. Yes, I do need to practice a little bit more, but for this top, it turned out okay. Nobody's gonna really notice, because for you to really notice, you have to really be with your face right really close to my V-neck here. So it is fine. It is fine. Worked out great. Like I said, I started here in the middle and I went up this way and I stopped right here, and from here all the way up here, because I did what I always do on my t-shirts. I did, oops, the hanger doesn't want to get out. I did cover the neck portion, the back neck portion of the t-shirt. It is the same color. I did not want to add any different colors here. Everything is the same color. It's a beige and it's boring, so. But I did use my new label, and it says made in FL, made in Florida. And the back is the little map of Florida, so I can do it either way, this way or this way. So maybe next time that I make a t-shirt, or my next make, I can put it this way. I know it's upside down because I'm flipping it this way, but it is the little map of Florida. And that was the only little trouble I had with my new cover stitch machine. It was doing the V-neck here. And then I tested also on my little piece if I wanted to do the wide stitching using the far right and the far left, and I took out the middle needle, and that's what I did for the sleeve and the bottom, and it turned out great. Wow, what a difference on a t-shirt. What a machine can do on a little t-shirt. And here at the bottom, it turned out great. I did a 1-inch hem at the bottom of the t-shirt and also on the sleeves. Everything else was done on the serger. Yes, on the serger. Up here on the serger, the sides on the serger. And yeah, it was a pretty quick make. other than me testing and trying to get used to my new cover stitch machine, it would have been a lot faster, but since I am learning, it is taking me a little while. What else has been going on here in the sewing room? Last night I was able to keep going on what I had cut. I had showed you that I cut the t-shirt and a Sunday romper dress out of the art gallery. I forgot the name of that of this fabric, but it is this one here, this fabric here. This is the skirt, the front piece. I managed to sew the pockets. That's all I have done. I have a little pin right here holding this whole thing together. It came out pretty quick because I had made, how many of these? I have made 2 of these before, so I knew how to make the little pocket. I put a little piece of interfacing. I used I used the sew keys. I used a 1-inch interfacing. Let me just open this, because with the plastic you cannot see it. I bought this out of Amazon. I have the 1-inch and I have the 1/2 inch. It's a sew keys, and this is a knit interfacing. It is a little roll. I like to use this when working with knits. It turns out pretty good. So I used this here, and that's all that I was able to work on this week. Like I said, it was a slow week for me. Now let's talk about the plans for this weekend and for the week ahead. I am going to keep going on my dress. There's still a lot to do. I only had 1 piece done. I have to put together the top. I have to do the V-neck. It is a V-neck top. I have to do the V-neck again. So another practice on my new cover stitch machine. I need to practice. Yes, they say that practice makes perfect. So let's see what happens on the next one. I'll do the V-neck, I'll do the back here as I usually do. That's what I like to do on all my t-shirts now. It takes me a little bit longer, but it turns out better. So it is okay. I am not in a rush to do anything, and that's the way I like to do my things. So I will try to see if I can finish the dress this weekend. If not, it is okay. Don't know if I have anything else to do this weekend, but I can tell you that I have a lot of ironing to do, because last weekend I had to do a lot of laundry. Everything that I bought back from the cruise, I had to wash a lot of stuff, and everything is hanging right here on my hanging contraption. Everything is here, everything that I need to iron. I have a couple of dresses, I have a bunch of tops, I have some of my daughter's work shirts. So yeah, I have a lot of ironing to do, and I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not too crazy about ironing, but yeah, there's no way around it. There is no way around it. Now let's talk a little bit about life. Like I said on my last video, I have been sick, but I am feeling much better. I don't know if you can hear a little bit. I still have a tiny little bit something going on here in my throat, but I decided to go to the Minute Clinic at the CVS. I didn't want to go to an urgent care or to the doctor. I have a doctor's appointment next month for my physical, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. So somebody at work told me, go to the CVS Minute Clinic. They can give you something that will help you out. And I'm like, wow, I had no idea that existed. I did go there. They gave me some medication. They gave me a Z-Pack. I think that's what's called, a Z-Pack, some antibiotic, and wow, that thing worked. I was coughing a lot. I had a lot of phlegm in my chest. All of that is almost gone. Yes, I am happy. Most of it is gone. Just have a tiny little bit here, but it is going. It is going, and I'm really happy about that. Other than that, everything has been quiet, working a lot. It has been very hot here in South Florida, and I am looking forward to wearing my new classic tee. I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did, This is the Love Notions Classic Tee. It is one of my tried and true patterns. Love, love, love this pattern, and I will make it again and again and again. I put on the t-shirt because I wanted to show you guys the t-shirt in the flesh, even though this is almost my flesh tone. Well, it's not my flesh tone color, but it is very boring. My husband was like, I don't like that color. That color is very blah. I'm like, well, yeah, I know it's very blah, but that's what I have. And I have another one. I think it's an ivory color. It has a bit more of a yellow tone to it, but we always need a classic t-shirt in a plain color. So we can put something on it, something that's a little bit more vibrant. So that's why I made this little t-shirt. Let me go back. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I like to make it a little bit longer so it hits me right here, because I don't like to buy t-shirts because they always come in the biggest part of my arm, and I don't like that. So yeah, this one, it is a little bit longer. One thing I forgot to mention, I did a little round back adjustment. It was only a 3/8 of an inch, and I think it made a nice little difference here in the back. It is sitting really nice. So this is the first time that I do a round back adjustment on the classic tee, and I think I'm going to leave the pattern that way. Actually, I think I might need to print the pattern again, or I have to transfer into a thicker paper because I've used it so much. It is very, very tattered at this point. I wanted to thank everyone for sticking with me until the end of this video. I also wanted to mention the new subscribers. I have reached 3,000 subscriber mark while I was on my cruise, and I totally forgot to say anything on my last video. I was a bit excited to share what I did wear on my cruise that I totally forgot. So welcome to the new subscribers, and I wanted to thank everyone that has been with me since the beginning. If you liked this video, can I ask you to please hit that like button below? If you can also subscribe, it will mean a lot to me. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.